All right, welcome again to episode 6 of the Interstice podcast, and this time I'm joined by Dean, so thank you for coming. And if you guys are listening on Spotify or YouTube or on, what's the other one, iTunes, thank you for showing up, really appreciate it. And I want to let people know, as I said in the last one, I'm trying to get a little more audience interaction, which is if you have any questions about Japan, life, death, or taxes, please do write me at davetrippanon@gmail.com and I'll get to your questions. I'm giving priority to my Patreon supporters, but of course I want to get as many people's questions answered as possible. So write me there, and it's very likely that you will end up on the podcast having your question answered. So with that cleared out of the way, today we're going to discuss, we're opening with cultural pressures in the pan. Cultural pressures in Japan as they compare to things that we have at home, whether that's from the UK.
Yep.
So what would you contrast first? I'll leave it open to you. Something to talk about. I got one in the hopper.
Yeah, no, I think I think Japanese people feel a lot of cultural pressure, to kind of gaman, kind of like keep their feelings hidden. Sure. Whereas I feel that at least where I come from, companies are set up, with human resources department and whatnot for people to air their grievances.
You're supposed to just shut up and take it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shut up and take it.
That's true.
That can be a little bit of a shock to people coming over here to work, especially ones that work for Japanese companies.
Yeah.
There isn't really an outlet for you to kind of, within a company setting, there's not an outlet for you to sound off. It's usually traditionally the drinking parties, which is kind of a traditional way to bitch about your boss, right?
Yeah.
Whereas in the UK, at least where I'm from, there's human resources department and stuff where you can in a professional manner you can air grievances.
It's true. I kind of like when I think of all that sort of pressure that they have. The thing that comes to mind immediately. And I was thinking, how can we keep this light? And we found it perfect here. No, not even light at all.
Okay.
But it was the big one that I see getting a lot of traction in the news for men and women is for when they need to have leave for children.
Okay.
And there was some guy recently in Japan who had this big case where I can't remember which major car company it was, but totally bilingual, had represented the company and done well for like many, many, many years.
Right. And
then when he had his child, the child had like some sort of whatever you would call like when they're really, really small and they're sick. Right. And so it needed like extra care. And he wanted to take leave for that basically to look after the child. And this was like massively frowned upon. And they were doing all sorts of shiesty things to try and either create pressure that he wouldn't do that or get him to annoy him so much after the fact that he would just quit his job because they hate him, which is so, it's not bizarre. I understand it because it's from this tradition of like your work is your life and your family is like an afterthought, even though they need to be there to then eventually at some point in the future enter into the machine. So that's a big one, I think. And you see it like it happens a lot in politics as women have entered into politics here as well.
They have.
And
the governor of Tokyo is a female now, right? That was a big thing.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know that. There you go. And yeah, as they enter into politics, then they've been having trouble when they want to take like, what is it called when you have a child and shows I am not married and I have no children. When you have a kid, something leave.
Well, I think if you're a female, I think it is maternity leave.
That's what it's called.
And I think if you're a male, it's paternity leave.
That's right. And so, yeah, they got issues with that whole, if you have children and you're trying to go. The other ones, I had a topic come up today, and I think it's awesome. This is like for better or for worse.
Okay.
The way that as a foreigner, job hopping is so accepted.
Yeah, it's true. I didn't really think about that. Yeah, I would say that job hopping is genuinely not really frowned upon here.
Yeah, if you're a foreigner and you switch between jobs, then it's not such a big thing. But if you're Japanese, I know that probably the younger generation wants to see that change, but it's definitely taken note of. Like, I think it exists like a black mark on your resume that if you didn't stay at a job for at least 5 years, then how reliable can you be?
Yeah. I would say though that the younger Japanese that I've spoken to, they're more open to leaving their jobs and they're more open to pursuing other things. Like I was speaking to someone and they had gone, I think they'd gone to Australia for like language exchange. Then they come back and they got a position with a Japanese company. They really didn't like it.
Yeah.
And the host family said, come back. If you can, come back, save up a little bit of money and come back. And then that person ended up leaving their job after less than a year.
Oh.
So they were kind of like, a kohai? Like a junior. So they hadn't even completed a year. And the company was very kind of accepting.
Oh, wow, okay.
That. So I think at least in the, that's only one case, but I think that the younger generation now are more open to putting themselves first.
Yeah.
Rather than the company.
Than the company.
So I think you'll see things change in the next 10 years or so.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of people, like I would get fed up with when basically what you have that's detracting from that keeping its same gravity is you see the previous generation and you're like, they're not so happy.
Yeah.
Like, why would, if somebody worked in that job, there's even shows in Japanese cultural shows that are made where it's making the point that these people dedicated their lives and then they come to retirement and once they quit they're like, oh well, now I never cultivated anything other than this job. So life is kind of empty now.
I feel like and also I feel like the older generation here they're very fixated on creating a legacy, leaving a legacy. Working for the same company for 40 years or something until retirement. I feel like legacy here is really big. Family legacy, making a family proud. So I think in general they work too much.
I think that's a common theme. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you got the and it's funny, some of these stereotypes, they're there for a reason. It's because they're totally true. The Japanese are overworked and inefficiently worked. Yeah. And it's all about showing face.
There was Microsoft, right? They've trialed a 4-week day, right?
That's a really interesting topic.
Not a 4-week day, sorry. A 4-week
week. Holy
a 4-week day. A 4-day week.
That's awesome. And it's apparently increased their productivity
by 40%.
Okay, where I was there's this book I'm reading or read not too long ago where the guy, it was about sleep. I've talked to you a little bit about that. And the whole thing was these large companies have brought different doctors in to say, how can we increase productivity? And one of the basic things he recommends that you have sleep incentives, that if you sleep more, that they'll give you whatever work benefit. And then the companies that have implemented this have done so much better, where it makes total sense, whether it's that you're overworked and not getting sleep, or that you just adjust your work style, that you allow your people to sleep more. Yeah. Being rested means you get way more efficiency. Yeah, so absolutely. It's a total pissing contest of I'm simply in this place appearing more than you, as if that means anything at all. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a really, really interesting study. But when they went out and they spoke to regular people on the streets and they explained what they'd done, most of the reaction was, well, I can't do that because if I have a 4-day week, I will have one less day to do work. So therefore my work will be piling up.
It can't compute.
It doesn't make sense, does it? So, it was that was really, really interesting.
Okay,
so,
that's
a 3-day weekend. They always had Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
It's amazing. I used to have that when I was back in when I was back in university, and I had a summer job working for a union. Surprise! They had that kind of arrangement, and it was for the transit company in Vancouver.
So you killed Jimmy Hoffa.
I did indeed. Yes. And we had 4-day work week, and it was absolutely amazing. Not that you needed to be efficient when you were there. It was unionized work that was incredibly easy, but no, it makes a huge difference. We should definitely move in that direction. If only, if you got a passion, was that?
Be incredible.
Be incredible. Yeah, you can work on your passion, or you can just sleep. You can sleep more, recover.
Or spend time with your family.
For
the family people.
No, absolutely. You can spend time with your loving family.
Yeah.
That's good too.
Yes.
Oh, okay. One more cultural pressure that we would, which the Japanese have. Would you say in relationships, do you think there's some obvious cultural pressure there?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Why?
that was it international relationships. I think they always come with some form of pressure.
Why?
You know, for example, the parents of the partner might not necessarily, you may not necessarily be what they envision for their you know, daughter or what do you call it, son. You know, that comes with an extra.
I covered
complex
racism
layer.
last week.
That's
We
true.
were going to keep it light.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
No. Yeah. international.
Okay then. You know, I think. You know, I'll leave it open to you. You
bounce it back at me?
I'm going to bounce back. You know,
Okay.
I've got to be careful what I say.
Okay. Yeah. I would go to the direction of how quickly, like in old school mentality, I think worldwide, it's always supposed to be that you're married sooner.
Right.
And I feel like that's still here. I mean, they have the whole.
Okay.
This would be a perfect segue into a discussion of Christmas. Not at first would it seem that way, but it is, because you have the whole Christmas cake.
The analogy of the Christmas
the
cake.
analogy of the Christmas cake,
Yes.
where if you've not married early enough in Japan, as a woman,
Yeah.
not men are not referred to in this way.
Not that I'm aware
There's
of.
probably a more horrible derogatory term for what we're referred
Turkey
to
or
as.
something.
Yeah, you've turned into a basted turkey.
Well, no, you're primo, aren't you? You're the turkey.
You're the turkey.
But then afterwards, you know, usually you have too much, you can never finish it, and then it goes into a sandwich, and then the next day it goes into some kind of soup or
Right.
something like that. They'll probably call us like, you know, soup or something.
Third
you know?
usage turkey.
Third usage turkey. Yeah.
So basically, that pressure that they have with the cake, I feel this is a common thing.
Yeah.
If you look up Christmas in Japan, then inevitably you come across the Christmas cake. But what else, though? Since we're just going to go on a hard segue into that, let's talk about Christmas in Japan. Did you really love Christmas when you were in the UK? Was it something that...
When I was a little kid, yeah, of course. But as I got older, it became less and less of a... It was like less about the gifts, more about the food. I miss the food.
Okay.
There's a lot of food that we have in the UK that you can't get here, especially around Christmas time.
Such as, I feel like that's a very old school,
bacon,
medieval...
You know,
okay,
bacon, like you know, proper bacon.
Yeah.
Pigs in blankets. So that, you know...
Oh, those are...
Yeah, for anyone that doesn't know what a pig in a blanket is, you know, it's like a small chipolata kind of style sausage wrapped in bacon, and then it's baked in the oven, and you know, it's like crack.
That's incredible.
They're amazing. It's just, yeah, it's stuff like that. You can't get turkey over here, you know, which is what it really...
Nobody's got, like, there's no ovens. There's
No, they don't have
another
ovens
cultural
here. Yeah.
bizarreness here that ovens, crazy enough too, because they totally emulate and appreciate the French culture of like patisserie and like bakeries.
Yeah. Yes.
Tons of bakeries in Japan. But do you think that you could find a home that actually had like an oven in it? No, they're nowhere to be found.
No, I've never seen anywhere that has an oven, even like big Japanese houses that I've been to.
Yeah, they don't do it. So you miss out on the turkey. It's all about
gravy. They don't have any kind of like gravy or like stock.
It kills me.
Yeah, stuffing.
Ah,
They don't have stuffing.
man.
Roast potatoes.
Scalloped potatoes.
Yeah,
Romanoff potatoes.
Oh god, yeah.
Are amazing.
Yeah, they
Super
are.
cheesy.
Yeah.
Get some like
Christmas
aged
cake.
cheddar.
They don't have like proper Christmas pudding like in
Okay.
the UK, which is obviously like a flambéed.
Oh.
It's like a flambéed fruit pie, it's like a fruit cake, sorry, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really is more here. Since they're all about New Year's here, that's really their priority.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's become super romantic. That's the kind of thing here,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Am
Yeah, I mean, I think what do they say? Is it December 24th is the most romantic day of the year?
So they say, unless
Yeah.
you're alone, in which case you stare in the mirror
Forever alone.
and pour whiskey over your body, moaning.
Yes.
That's what I do. It's highly romantic. Yeah. For you, what'll you do this year?
I will go home. So,
Oh,
yeah,
but-
I'm gonna go home.
So it'll be romantic English, because you'll have the lovely lady along with you, won't you?
She's not coming for Christmas.
Oh,
She's coming after Christmas.
Okay.
Because obviously they don't get any kind of time off here.
True.
It's a normal
Okay.
working day.
Hammering home the point that it's not so celebrated.
Yeah, and that's also, that's a cultural pressure.
Right.
They have
Yeah.
30 or 40 free days that apparently they can use during a year or whatever.
Yeah.
Like an NQ day. But the pressure, they can't just suddenly decide to take, I'd like to take the 24th off, I'd like to take the 25th off.
Yeah.
They can't do that. It has to be at the convenience of the company.
That you're gonna use
take
these, which is it's almost like you don't have them.
No.
You do.
Exactly.
But you
you
don't.
really don't. So
Yeah.
unfortunately she won't be there, but it's still nice to spend it with my family.
Yeah.
So I'm more excited about, eating all the amazing foods.
That's
So,
cool. That's cool.
Yeah, no, that'd be really good. How about you?
I do.
Plans?
I am concocting them. I've actually usually gone to
Maybe some like Brazilian barbecue, maybe.
perhaps
Yeah.
some Brazilian barbecue. I often have gone to Kyoto, but I do enjoy the atmosphere here. I think it's just because I love generally Christmas so much. So
Yeah.
like if you put up a bunch of Christmas lights around me, I absolutely love it. That's enough to get me going. I've got like an old, very like way too much effort for how many views video when we had the Christmas party.
Ah, okay,
Right,
yeah. I
Drew
remember
came
that.
out
That was good.
back in the day,
Yes.
which was
back in
awesome
the-
here. So I try and transplant that a little bit.
But you're going to
it's,
Kyoto, do you think, this year?
Not this year. No, not going to go to Kyoto yet. Suddenly, maybe I might make a snap decision, but that's
Okay.
not the plan.
Okay.
But it's I have actually not taken part in the Japanese traditions because I've never had the Japanese Christmas cake. They do cakes here for Christmas.
It's
Have
really
you?
good. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really? You never have had
Never had a slice. I
What,
feel
like the soft sponge, almost like white cake with strawberries? You've
What-
never eaten that
I've
before?
never at Christmas in Japan
Right.
had cake.
Oh,
So
okay.
whatever variation, I've never had
okay.
one.
Because my birthday falls, well, it's actually next week. It falls in
Right.
December.
If you guys can wish Dean happy birthday
You don't-
the comments, that would be fantastic.
You don't have to do that.
He insists
No.
that you do.
You really don't have to do that.
That would be wonderful.
But thank you anyway, whoever does decide to do that. But I'm sure I'm going to get a ton of hate. So when I've had a birthday cake, it's
Yeah.
been a Christmas cake.
Oh, okay.
Because
right.
they
It's
start
at
making them in
exact
December.
time.
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
right.
Yeah, maybe that's why.
Yeah.
And also, I've eaten like a Kentucky
Have you done the
Fried Chicken.
Okay. You've done the Kentucky
I
Christmas.
have. Yes, I
haven't.
did do the Kentucky Christmas.
Did you pre-purchase? That's the thing in Japan is that you
No.
actually have to usually.
Usually you do, but I think that's if you want because a lot of the premium stuff. Yeah, it's like a next
Right.
level up, but it's
Right.
like what you would call like a rotisserie
Okay.
style roasted chicken.
Yeah.
It's not what really you think of as KFC.
Yeah, exactly. It's more like a turkey.
It's
You're
a turkey.
trying to
Yeah.
It's like
And I think it
The poor
comes
man's
it comes
turkey.
with like a chocolate cake, and it comes with like various different coleslaws and fries and stuff probably. So I haven't done that, but I did when I was living in Tokyo.
Yeah.
Check out his video for that as well on my apartment tour.
Okay,
my
sure.
little box tour video.
popular.
Yeah,
That's
that was a good video. I enjoyed making that. When I lived in Tokyo, I live really close to a KFC, so I just went in and was like, just give me the bucket, and then I just got the bucket, and then
Nice.
me and the partner I was seeing at the time, we just ate Kentucky for Christmas.
Nice.
So, yeah, that was really, really
Classic.
Classic.
It was in I think it was the 70s that they ran this obviously like culture paradigm shifting ad
good.
campaign.
I might be wrong, but I heard it was because of American servicemen that were missing turkey back home, and the next best thing that they could find
And it
would be Kentucky.
And it just
And
picked up.
it blew up from there. That's what I've heard.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
That wouldn't
I've heard that
surprise
it's
me.
like it like originated from foreigners that were living in Japan,
Okay.
missing Christmas, missing those home comforts.
And they just adopted it.
Yeah.
Refined it.
They don't have gravy here, do they? They don't have the Kentucky gravy here.
No, I don't.
That's gutting.
Yeah, that is.
Do you have that in Canada?
gutty. Gravy?
Yeah,
Sure.
I
yeah,
always,
gravy's
whenever
a-
I'm gonna have that when I go home. I'm gonna
Homemade
have
family
British.
does
Yeah.
it. Oh, nice.
No, I'm talking about like the Kentucky, just standard Kentucky gravy.
Oh, well, we make our own gravy. We didn't go to Kentucky.
No, I'm talking about when you eat Kentucky as just a regular meal, a takeout. Do you have the gravy?
I'm sure.
with it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have the gravy.
You dip the chips in the gravy.
Yeah. You can die a happy
Oh,
man.
yeah. I'm gonna be enjoying that. I'm just gonna go back home to eat Kentucky.
Nice. Give me the bucket.
Give me the bucket and the gravy. Put it into my veins.
Oh, that's a good part. I like seeing the little eccentricities. I saw some ridiculous meme of like Santa crucified, which I felt like the Japanese had missed the point.
This has gone a bit dark.
Yeah.
So for any Christians out
there,
there,
they missed the mark. Well, I think somebody needs to be.
Okay.
Somebody needs to be crucified for Christmas to have its value. Yeah. And cut. No. When I think out, it's also another thing here. Okay, here's a good thing to enjoy for Christmas when you were in Japan. It's not so necessarily related to the Christmas, but I'm using the definite article for things that don't need it right now. The Christmas.
The Christmas. Yes.
Is the whole culture, if you are somebody who's into snowboarding, that because of the other cultural traits they have here that is amazing, that if you come, you must enjoy, which is basically you go to the mountain, whether you ski or you snowboard, and then the following culture of ramen and onsens is this holy triumvirate of like the most amazing, relaxing thing you can do. Because like obviously it's the ultimate comfort food, so you get your miso ramen, your whatever, usually something thick and hearty like that. And then you go to the onsen afterwards, and it's amazing. Yeah, it's absolute bliss.
Best ever memories was doing something similar to that.
That's something we could touch on. It's not like it's traditional, but it happens here because they have it. It's like you talking about the ryokan and going with the Why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, like
people should know.
Okay, I went to like a ryokan in like a prefecture that was close to where me and Dave live, and it was snowing, which is really nice. It was like
ryokan, in case you don't know.
Oh yeah,
it's just a traditional Japanese inn.
Yeah,
but
kind of like a posh bed and breakfast.
Right. It's like it's like their history, but like it's upscale. It has an upscale feel, or distinctly Japanese. You wouldn't feel Western. It'd feel like
very Japanese.
Like, did you have futons?
The one that we went to was more of a hotel style, actually. Okay. In all honesty, so we had a bed.
Right.
But I have gone to ones when my parents visited last summer. I went to one in Kyoto, and that was really traditional. Okay. So like they came in and they set up all our futons and everything, and there was the onsen. Okay. With the tatami mat floor and everything like that, the tea ceremony, and so I did do that. But no, it was one of my best ever memories.
Yeah, go on.
Where it was like a normal hotel room, but then outside it was like this traditional. It wasn't traditional, but it was like man-made little onsen bath. Oh yeah, and, outside, like private, private on the balcony. Snowing. Oh, and like just going out there and just sitting and relaxing in the tub was really, really, really nice. It's kind of a funny ending though. I remember it very clearly because I didn't know that once we left the door ajar. We left the door ajar because it said in Japanese that if you lock the door, if you pull the door shut, basically you're locked out. Right. And Dave, I've been to like onsen with Dave before and stuff, and he knows like this guy, he can do like 25 minutes in the heat. I've seen him out there. Yeah. Whereas me, I do like 10 minutes and I'm like, I feel sick. I feel sick. I think I'm going to go in the ice bath. So I can't do a huge amount of time in there. Sure. So I was sat in there and I was like, no, this is just getting too much. Yeah. And I went out to get all the salt water off and take a shower, and I shut the door without ladies out there. And the lady is outside, and then how long did you go in? She drained the bath, so she has no more heat. So she has no more heat. So and the towels are in the inside. So it was everything that could go wrong did go wrong. And did you have a nice long shower? I think I was in there for over 10 minutes. So I just went there and there's like this like against the
wall,
glass.
Yeah. Oh man,
like this frosted glass, and she's I think she's like 2 minutes away from getting hypothermia or something.
Damn.
Yeah, so that's why I remember it so clearly, because it was kind of a funny thing that happened.
Semi-traumatic. Yes, very to not me is the key thing. Yes. But yeah, that like the falling snow.
It was amazing. It was really
man.
good, and obviously Nico, for the place that I went to is called Nico. Like for anyone that's been there, you'll know that especially in the winter, like the mountains are absolutely incredible.
Stunning.
It's like Aspen or like Aspen or Colorado or something.
Yeah, it is absolutely gorgeous there, and a dream I've yet to still live out.
You will, though, don't worry.
I will one day.
You absolutely will.
One of them will stick around long enough.
Like I say, Brazilian barbecue.
All right, guys, so this concludes the first half of the podcast where we're just talking about whatever. And now Dean and I are going to dive into the questions. So for those who wrote to me in the last week, we're going to get through as many as we possibly can. All right, so we're back in business here. We're going to jump into the emails. Let's see where we left off and see if we can't get some answers and reflection from both myself and Dean on what's going down. Okay, so the first one that we have here, this is from Ben, Seattle, United States. I'm finishing university in 2020, and I'm planning on teaching English in Japan afterwards. I've done a lot of research into teaching opportunities, and I've been seeing that a lot of jobs are in rural areas. I get that it might be a unique experience to live in rural Japan, but I would much rather be in Tokyo. I've traveled to Tokyo and I absolutely loved it. Is there anything I can do to ensure that I land a teaching job in Tokyo specifically? What would you say, Dean?
Only apply for companies where the job is mentioned to be in Tokyo, perhaps.
Yep. Yeah.
I think you are like, I understand like not wanting to necessarily live in the countryside. That's a fair point. But, that my best piece of advice would be to primarily focus on jobs that you see that are advertised in Tokyo.
It's kind of straightforward.
It's kind of a really simple question.
And a lot of people, you can say that you have that preference with the dispatch company, and then if they don't give you the placement, if you're willing to wait around, you can say, I won't take it.
No thanks.
You'll get it. All right, so let's go on. So this is from Sprigglebot, aka Heather. Heather asks, Sprigglebot asks,
Hi, Heather.
My husband and I are both credentialed teachers in California who are hoping to live in Japan someday. If all goes well and we want to stay, we are wondering what the retirement options are in Japan for foreigners and if it is comparable to what we could get in our home country. Second question. By the time we apply to teach in Japan, we'll be at least 37 years old. Do you think this will impact our chances of getting hired? I know there are some older jets, but they seem rather uncommon. Do dispatch companies prefer to hire younger people? So, yeah, we can just go through that. What do you think about people retiring in Japan?
What? I think that it's... they've said in the email, right? They're looking to potentially retire in Japan, right?
So what do you think about that?
I think that it's definitely doable. I've heard of people doing it, but it's certainly not the norm, is it really? I feel that it's like a nice ambition to have, but get here first, see how you like it, and then maybe kind of go from there. I wouldn't kind of go in with the mantra of I'm going to retire here, because you may not.
You may
like
hate
it.
You may not like it. You may not like rice.
Yeah, there you go. Or sushi.
Or sushi for that matter. And then your options are limited.
Yeah.
I think I guess other technical things that you could follow along there as mattering as well would be the pension. So obviously there is the Japanese pension that you have. So you're paying into that the whole time. And
unless you work for a dispatch company, there's that kind of don't worry, you don't have to pay into it, and they don't help you.
They don't help you or let you know the kind of ins and outs of it, but
so you'd have to do that yourself if you work for a dispatch company.
For sure. And there's a couple things that's probably worth knowing if people are listening to this. One is that like Dean's pointed out, they might ask, but where if you're leaving within a year, there's not a lot of pressure put on you by the Japanese government to pay it.
Yeah.
That you could peace out after a year and nobody be the wiser.
No.
But another thing that's kind of important is to know that if you are paying into the pension, because sometimes, like, say you get a job that's more strict and they absolutely make you do it,
Yeah.
that if you leave Japan within 5 years,
Yeah.
then you recover that back.
Yes.
And at like surface level, it's supposed to be like this set amount. And then there's like, I can't remember exactly what it is, but if you do one extra thing, there's like one extra form to submit, and then they'll give you 100% of it back. So there's like one hoop to jump through.
I think what I heard is it was, I could be wrong, but I think what I heard was that 75% of it, when you fill out one form, you'll get returned to you. Then if you have a friend who's a Japanese national, they will then transfer the remaining amount to their bank account, and then they will send it to you.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, that sounds about right. But yeah, so that's just useful to know for pension. But yeah, I think definitely a good point. You can get here, it's brutal, and you want to leave, but you do have the potential. The other question I think you have to be asking yourself, if the pension is what you're relying on for a retirement savings, like that you're going to have some sort of income, you never know what's going to happen with the massively top-heavy Japanese population right now.
Yeah.
Like, true. With the aging population, so much pressure is being put on the younger generation, paying like 3-4 times like what they would have, however long ago.
Yeah.
And you don't know with just how many people are going to need that pension, how many people are actually going to get paid out. You can imagine it's probably like an insurance company where they're going to look for any excuse. Like, you're not really 65. I don't know what they would, I don't know what they would say. But it might be a bit tricky.
Yeah. But I think, like, the long and short of it is that come here, see how you like it first, and then look to kind of explore those avenues. Who's
going to retire? I'm also not in the same age group, but I don't know any foreigners who've retired in Japan.
No, neither do I.
They're not our people. So
Crampon Star.
Yeah, we wouldn't have yet contacted them. Damn geezers. But I mean, it's coming for us until we figure something out with better gene therapies, which I'm looking into, which could be a whole topic for this podcast. David Sinclair, Why We Age and Why You Don't Have to. But don't know why I'm plugging his book. It's a great book. That's why I'm doing it. But yeah,
there's the book and get a free t-shirt.
Yes. I should speak to David, see if he'll give me some kind of endorsement. I could use it. We had a second part of the question was, so it was basically the ageism question. Like,
no, I don't think it's too...
Not with teaching.
No, I think a dispatch company will take you if you have a pulse.
Yeah, a handsome monkey. Not even, you could be a kind of threadbare monkey. You could be... You'd be losing your fur. Mangy? You can be a mangy monkey and you probably still get a balding monkey.
Yeah. And then I think in Jet, I actually know someone who works down in like in the southern tip of Japan, and he's in the same board of education with another Jet, and the guy's 52 years old. He was the oldest Jet they've ever hired. So please be aware that Jet and Jet is a separate entity from like a dispatch company. So it sounds like in the email that they weren't quite sure about that.
Yes. Some older jets. Oh yeah, true. So whereas it's like
Jet is like it's like a government funded organization. So yeah.
They will absolutely hire older people. Yeah. Maybe if you were next to like some fantastically attractive younger person with incredible credentials and you as a 53-year-old have only ever gone like cherry picking, maybe they'll choose that person over you. But I don't think it'd be because of your age. I think it's because you suck.
It's how much you can dance and be the monkey.
Yes. So there you go. Those are a few thoughts for Sprigglebot. All right, moving along. So this is long time subscriber to the channel and also longtime supporter on Patreon. So thank you very much, V. And you're going to get your questions answered here as well. You should. So I'm having a great day. How is the weather? Hope you're having a great day. It's wonderful. let's get into these questions. So I completely forgot to send my question before this week's episode. Currently, I'm studying Japanese. This will be cool.
That's cool.
Study questions are good. Finally, after many years of thinking about it, we're using Genki 1. Kyoko sensei is cute. Okay, nice. Patient and friendly. The minor detail is that the class is entirely on German, so it has been a challenge. I'm also taking German courses, so I have the most common questions. Okay. Here you go. We've got bullet points. Thank you for the excellent formatting, V. How can I learn faster katakana? For some reason, maybe because of my exposure to hiragana, it is more natural, but I'm suffering with katakana. Okay. As you had experienced with your Japanese sensei at the beginning, is it too disappointing that you seem to dwell, but it is not the case? I usually can say some words or sentences, and she says, oh, good, very good, but I don't know if it's a part of the Japanese culture of being polite, because the katakana I am not that good at. Sometimes I get it wrong, and I hate to disappoint her. Oh. If you're getting good out of her, that's incredible. I have the most old school, tough love teacher in the world. She's like, you're not that good.
So do I.
Yeah, you haven't improved that much.
Yes.
And
you must improve more.
Yeah. And I kind of like it in that kind of Karate Kid way, where it's like if they do say anything positive, then you're just like, yes.
You lap it up.
Yeah, thank you. I finally did something right. But then they tell you to not get excited.
Yes.
No, the expression that she told to me recently, maybe I told you about it, my teacher, she said that even a poorly made pistol, or it's like even a poorly made rifle, if you shoot it at a wall enough times, will hit something. And I was like, that's the Japanese expression. It's a little bit weird in translation, but you get the idea that it's just try through repetition so many times.
And finally you hit that target.
You accidentally succeed, if anything. So that's kind of the praise that I get. So we're doing this in reverse order, but I think you just can't sweat how much you suck. Like that's no. Because we know people that really do that. Yeah. And it's a waste. It's just a waste. I mean, it's seductive and it's hard to say.
Years off your life.
Oh, totally. You'll be balding in no time. Like,
yes.
that wasn't even intentional. Just the way that you'll have that voice in your head so constantly that if you don't early on like tell it to shut up or just say to yourself whatever, it's always going to be there, and it's so counterproductive because you won't do anything. You'll use it as an excuse, like if you're having a tough day, and then you're really, really sucking, you don't understand anything, or you're tired, and then you're saying that you're stopping studying because it's as a result of your self-loathing. Yes. But really you're like, I just want to stop. Yeah. So you're just being a little bitch. Don't do that. So no, don't worry. That's cool, V, that you even have a supportive teacher. That's great. Nothing wrong with that. As for methods to learn katakana more quickly, I got a few ideas, but what would your spin on that be, Dean? Did you ever make any particular effort to learn katakana?
Well, for me, when I was learning in England, it seems to be that at least the teacher that I had at the time, it was like hiragana. Okay. And then this hiragana and this hiragana together will make this kanji kind of thing, kind of like that. And I didn't get a huge amount of exposure to katakana before I came here. Yeah. And then I realized when I came here, I was like, wow, actually a lot of things here are written in katakana over hiragana. It's actually quite rare, especially like food items.
Hugely, it's used in food items.
So I use flashcards, and also I use the Babe Bube Bo kind of method,
the sheet has the phonetics.
Yeah, the phonetics.
Okay, so phonetic sheets.
Yeah, the phonetic sheets really work, and also I would use language apps as well, like language learning apps, the one that you got me onto, Anki.
Sure.
That was really good. I still use that now. You make your own decks and flashcards, and you can download other people's flashcards, and it's really good.
I'd say that's the strongest. If you wanted to be hardcore about it, then you get Anki, and you create a flashcard deck, and it's unequivocally known to be the best thing you could possibly do and really scientifically proven. Yeah. But Actually, maybe it's only because you're at the beginning stages, V, but I would say don't worry about it for the reason that you pointed out.
Yeah.
In every other element, every other aspect of learning Japanese, I've had this like, wow, you do not learn by, what is it, osmosis, like by just being around it, and that you're in a low density and it will move to that.
I mean, you learn a little bit, but certainly not enough to become proficient.
With most of the language, but with katakana, because it's phonetic, because it's everywhere, it's like the one free pass I got, where with that, I actually, at the very beginning, I made a little bit of an effort to get it into my head, but then I was like, there's more things I needed to worry about.
Yes.
And then just because you see it everywhere, you get constant practice, and it's phonetic. Like I say, you don't need to decipher the hieroglyphics.
I always remember when we went to like that 7-Eleven, it was like an eggs Benedict flavored like potato chips.
Right.
And I was like, I'd only just come here, and I was like, what's that say? And you were reading it, you're like, Iguzu Benedicto.
Iguzu Benedicto. Yeah.
And it was just, that was really funny for me.
I hero, and it's delicious. Yeah. Eggs, which is fun. Yeah, like you said, hilarious. Where they would, of course, they have their like Japanese word for eggs, but not eggs Benedict.
But not eggs Benedict,
so
because that's classed as foreign. So it's
yeah, which is pretty funny.
Yeah,
so
which is great.
Yeah, I think you're doing great. Sometimes the best students are the ones who overthink things. Yes. So I wouldn't worry so much about that at all. You're going to do great. Those books that you're using are fine. I think like an underutilized resource for straight up listening is YouTube.
Yeah.
If you want to practice it, you can go on and do like the JLPT listening tests, and usually people have put down in the description or they put in the end of the video all the answers, so you can do that. So thanks very much for your questions, V. That's awesome. You got any more? Send them my way and they will end up in the podcast, which would be awesome. So, there's Heather, there's Joseph, Thomas. Was this the one that I just did? That was the rural areas. I'm trying to figure out. Was it okay? Yeah, we got through 3. So I'm wondering if you know what? I think I actually smashed my way through the previous.
There you go.
So yeah, we've climbed that mountain.
Excellent.
Now at the end of it, since we've managed to clear the question, as I said at the beginning, and I would remind again now, if you guys want to have those questions answered, please do email me at davetrippin@gmail.com. So we need a bonus section here. You can tell how well we planned this. Let's talk about eccentric dating details.
Dating details.
I'm not going to put it in the title because I don't want every video to be like dating in Japan. But the one we were talking about it before we even got into this, right? Was is Disneyland is like a couples thing.
Yes.
Right?
Full of wonder and young couples.
And Disney Sea.
Yeah, I'd never even heard of Disney Sea before I came here, like you, I think.
Have you been to Disney Sea? Did you do it?
Yes, twice.
You did? You twice? Oh, man.
Twice.
I'm so lonely.
I didn't enjoy it.
Okay, good. Right. Thank God.
It wasn't...
No, was it not that good?
I mean, okay, there's probably people that have been there and it was really, really good. It was
amazing, you bastard. You just earned the
rides were alright, actually. Like, it's more like an adult Disneyland.
Right.
So, like, in terms of the ride, it was good. But the rides were good. But, like, I just didn't like the atmosphere.
Okay.
It was just it just seemed like really fake. And there was like you go to like a little Italy section and like a little Romania section or whatever, and it's like all these couples like pretending, like the girl I was with at the time, we went, and I'll never forget it. We took a picture and it was like in the little Italy section, and she was absolutely, we say in London, like she's gassed, which means she was like it means like crazy happy, like she was gassed because she was like, oh my god, like you're my foreigner boyfriend, and I'm Japanese, but we're behind. It looks like we're not even in Japan. Oh
That's
my fucking god.
Crazy.
And it was just like, oh god.
Okay.
It wasn't, yeah.
All right. I thought, yeah.
I don't want to put anyone off Disney Sea.
No.
It's just, if someone said to me, I'm really sorry, Dean, you can never go to Disney Sea again, I'd
You'd
be
be
like,
fine.
okay.
You could live another day.
I could live another day quite comfortably.
Okay. I want to talk about, maybe you could chime in. Now I have this thought, and I love sneaking this in at the very end of the podcast because it's like bonus material if you've made it this far. But I've been thinking about pet peeves on dating apps, things that I hate. And I suppose it comes with the like profiles specifically.
Okay.
Which the way that you'd set up a profile, which I know why I'm on there. It's for like the 1% that you're gonna find where you're like, this is an interesting person, but you have to really regulate your emotional reaction to the ridiculous amounts of garbage there and ridiculous things that people do. Like one of them, and actually so many people do this. This is in abundance. It's like showing me food. Where the profile picture is that they're like offering up some food. Now, if you were actually going to make that for me, I'd be excited, but you're clearly at a restaurant.
I think that's quite a Japanese thing to do, isn't it? To have pictures of food.
For the dating profile?
The dating apps or even line apps and stuff, like you get them online and then it's a picture of a parfait.
Yeah,
and you're like, what the hell?
Thinking of like...
But then like maybe it's especially here, like there's laws, very strong laws in terms of like the usage of people's personal data and faces and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it could be like like I've had it before, like in the past where I'm like, oh, that's a nice parfait you got there. Can I actually see what you look like? And then they'd be like, no, I don't want to show you. I'm not comfortable. And then, I'm like,
but they'll show you a parfait? That's deeply personal.
Right? Now I know you like strawberries and ice cream.
Yeah.
So I think like it might come down to like some self-confidence issues.
Sure.
And then on top of that, I think here more than anywhere, they're very guarded about their own personal facial privacy.
Okay. I mean, this is very compassionate of you. I just wanted to hate some
go ahead.
Annoying bitches. But...
But no, you are right. It does grind my gears.
It does grind my gears. It's so cheesy. Why are you doing that? Yes. Where you just have a nice picture of your face.
You could spin it and be like, hey, you can make me that parfait.
Your optimism is making me look like an asshole.
No,
you're right. I should be more positive. No, that one killed me. That's definitely
right,
one.
Mate. Yeah.
What was another one that like annoyed you? Do you have one?
Oh, it's been a while since I'm just gonna put that out there.
That's true. Yeah. To be fair, how long have you been together with your lovely woman?
Over 2 years now.
Over 2 years now.
Yeah. So it's been a while since I've been on any kind of chatting dating apps.
Yeah. When's your anniversary?
I don't want to say.
Okay, that's smart. Well, let's wish him a nice, happy anniversary.
But it is in summer.
Okay.
It's in summer.
The hint is in summer. Very nice.
I'd rather not say.
Yeah. Did you do something nice for that last time?
Yeah, we went to a really, really nice restaurant. The same restaurant we went to the bar that was in Lost in Translation.
Right.
Yeah, Tokyo Hyatt Hotel.
Oh man, you guys need a place to go for a date. We totally derailed my cynicism, which is good.
Sorry.
No, I'm glad we did. Let's be
I was all
optimistic.
up for that though. I was all up for hating.
You go there, Park Hyatt.
Yeah.
Shinjuku?
Yes.
And it's like one of the most... It's higher. There's like the Peak Lounge.
Yeah.
And then it's higher than that.
And that's what I went. That's what I went to. I went to the highest of the high.
The highest of the Hyatt.
Yes.
And you go to the Peak Lounge, which has... I have a video about that for Tantra on my channel if you want to check it out. Where you'll see I was there for drinks. And it is the most incredible view you can imagine. Then you go even higher... And you can get into this restaurant that you're talking about.
Yeah, it was really, really,
but it's not
really amazing.
Cheap, is it? This is anniversary territory.
Yeah, it was like for like a 4-course chef's special meal, no drinks included.
Yeah,
for 2 people.
Yeah,
you're talking $400.
Whoa.
And then a glass of wine.
Yeah,
and they have an extensive wine list.
Yeah,
for someone like me that I'll go down the pub and have a lager.
Sure,
it's totally out of my league. I don't know what's good and what's not. And for a glass, you're talking $30 just for a glass.
Yeah, just for a glass, nice casual glass. So you're probably coming out spending around like $500.
And it's absolutely suit and fancy dress.
Oh, okay.
Black tie.
No t-shirts going into there.
No.
Okay.
I don't think you'd actually be accepted.
They wouldn't allow you.
No.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but it's really, really nice. If you ever need to go for like a super baller place.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was really, 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 really cool. But no, let's get back. We should finish on some kind of cynicism.
Yeah,
here.
well, let's finish with a little darkness. Fade to black, so to speak. So, one other thing
what really annoys you
on the dating apps, the only other thing is the women, as Eddie Murphy would say, it's the like, what have you done for me lately sort of profiles. I won't. I'll practice it. Come back next week for the podcast. We'll get it then. It's basically when people write in their profile, it's like, if you do this, this, and this, and swipe right. And it's like, if you're already negotiating before I'm dating you, you've set a bad precedent. And all you've done is made it very easy to know that you're a C note.
Yes.
And I don't like C notes, and so we swipe to the opposite direction with those.
I feel like I'm going to be an arse again, but then does that not already tell you that they wouldn't be a good person? So that shouldn't upset you.
Right. I mean, it's a service to me in some sense, but I'm like, you don't want to see people.
But no, I do. I've had it before where I was on dates. I've been on dating apps before in the past, and then it's like literally said, "Will not date if under 170 centimeters," and it like that is just shocking. You know, okay, I'm going to put on my dating will not date unless over D cup. You know, or something like that,
or under however many kilograms.
Yeah, right, exactly.
But I mean, this is it's tough though, because I'm like, I don't fault people for having physical preferences, and I mean, that's
true.
And I was so dedicated to being cynical, but now I'm kind of running away with it. With the, I do kind of get why they do the "What have you done for me lately?" It's that women have like hundreds. They're like it's literally packages of sausage thrown in their face all day.
Yeah.
Bombarded. If you've ever seen that meme
have you ever
of the
actually
woman
seen
sitting
that?
there with the hot dogs.
Have you actually ever seen a girl's Tinder account before?
Never once.
I actually have once on a date when I was in London.
Yeah.
And she showed me.
Is it just?
Oh, it was like 500 messages, and she was getting these She would I would always have it where I was so thirsty. Yeah. I would always have it where it would ping. It's like, Dean has a new message, or you have a new message from blah. I was like, yay,
Yeah.
But then she explained to me, I was like, yeah, I had to mute the app because it just got to the point where it would crash my phone.
Fuck me. Fuck me. I'm so lonely.
Charlie, Jack, John, Gary, Bradley. Hey, what's up? You're sexy. Hey, what's up? Like sausage?
All right.
So I actually did get a chance to look in that world, and so I could imagine if you're you don't even necessarily have to be in overly attractive girl.
No, clearly these women I've seen. No, you don't.
You'll be getting. I mean, it'd be great to do an experiment. If you kind of catfished, and then first hour on a dating app as a girl,
right? Just
yeah. It's like being repeatedly shot.
Yes.
So I can imagine that is an annoyance.
And on that note. Thank you.
Fade to black.
For tuning in, whether on iTunes, Spotify, or here on the channel where you've watched Dean. Thanks for dropping in, Dean.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, we'll have Dean back, and we'll have better rehearsed topics in the future, because these were awesome, but we only do better and better and better here on the Interstice podcast.
We should end on your Japanese teacher's amazing mantra for you to follow. If you shoot the wall more enough,
that's right, you'll hit something. That's words of wisdom for Tinder as well.
There you go.
So, or Bumble, or whatever the hell you're on. Badoo. So if you guys like the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you want to get more content like this and notified as soon as it's available on the channel, smash. I feel I want to rebel against the word smash. Lightly press the bell button. Caress the bell button and set it to that setting, which allows you to get notified whenever anything goes up on the channel. Appreciate you guys very much for tuning in. Write me to the email to get your questions answered, and we will catch you in the next podcast. That's all for now. The clock has run out.
Okay.